Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome to my presentation and thank you for watching this video. My name is Asni Mustikarani from Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas Islam Bandung. My research team are Professor Atih Rohaiti Daria and Mrs. Popon Sri Susilawati, also from Universitas Islam Bandung. The research we conduct entitled Green Taxonomy for Sustainable Production Across Countries. This research, which is submitted to Social and Humanities Research Symposium, also SORES 2022 organized by LPPM Universitas Islam Bandung, and my presentation is divided into four main sections. Firstly, introduction, secondly, method, thirdly, result and discussion, and finally, the conclusion. Let me begin. The first section is introduction. Sustainable production has two important sides. First, as part of sustainable consumption and production, which is a link between other important goals and makes the Sustainable Development Goals a closed and bound network. Secondly, it is most important as source of sustainable economic growth. All changes in the business and institutional environment will create a selective environment that supports the development of sustainable production and consumption. The firm concern for sustainable production will form a green production pattern that can meet the requirement of the Green Taxonomy standard. The Green Taxonomy can also provide a better understanding and make it easier for financial services actors to classify green activities in developing a portfolio of financial services products. This article will identify Green Taxonomy in several countries, how their similarities and differences. The second session is methods. The method applied is content analysis, as the data consists mainly of sustainable finance policies documents from several countries. It attempts to research ideas, concepts, and values of various thoughts that will be made into inference through effort of finding the characteristic of messages, and it is done objectively and systematically. The third section is result and discussion. There are 7 taxonomies that identified in this research, and the analysis will be divided into 4 sections, namely definition, purposes, scopes, and sectors. The first taxonomy is the European Union or EU taxonomy. EU taxonomy is a classification system in the form of a list environmentally friendly investment and economic activities for the EU. The purposes EU taxonomy provides a clearer definition of economic activities and investment that are considered environmentally friendly and can help the EU reach a Green Deal. The basic principles for taxonomic design are the specific environmental objective, list of economic activities, performance metrics, and performance threshold. And the sectors, there are 6 environmental objectives within the scope of the EU Sustainable Finance Taxonomy, namely mitigation, adaptation, water and marine resources, circularity, pollution prevention, protection, and restoration of ecosystem. And the second is Climate Bonds Initiative, or CBI, is a non-profit international organization between Brazil, China, India, and Mexico that mobilize global capital for best practice climate action, innovation in green and sustainable finance. The purposes the nomenclature used is not the economic sector, but assets or projects that support climate change management financially. And the CBI workflow is divided into market intelligence, develop reliable standards, and provide policy models and suggestions. And the sectors such as transportation, land use and marine resources, waste and pollution control, and information and communication technology. And the third taxonomy is Green Taxonomy in China. The green rating is used to evaluate projects and companies externally regarding the positive and negative effects of the project to be carried out and the business carried out by the company. And the purposes the green rating will be later be used as the basis for decisions to make fiscal subsidies or fines, cut bank interest rate and bond financing costs. And the scope the green indicator in question include evaluation of the impact of pollution, ecological, social, and sustainable use of resources. The three main sectors related to energy and industry lead to a number of programs that encourage the growth of industries that are energy efficient, protect the environment and clean, and the sectors related to environment and ecology include agriculture, fisheries, animal husbandry, and marine program, and for the infrastructure sectors include green development construction program and forestry. And the fourth taxonomy is Green Taxonomy in South Africa. The Green Finance Taxonomy, or GFT, is a form of an official classification that shows eligibility for the green or friendly category environment of a project, company, sector, or industry, and the purpose is to build the basis for the development of a larger and more comprehensive technology for environmental objectives relevant to South Africa Green Taxonomy. Activities cover a range of different environmental objectives with substantial overlap in benefit expected and a range of activities to mitigation, adaptation, and environment impact objectives. The fifth taxonomy is Green Taxonomy in Malaysia, Climate Change and Principle-Based Taxonomy, or CCPT, which is a guiding principle for financial institutions to assess and categorize economic activities such as climate supporting, transitioning, and wishlist. The purpose is a consistent and systematic classification of economic activities can facilitate and promote the channeling of financial flows to activities that support climate change and environmental objectives. And the scope, the classification is constructed based on the following considerations such as positive impact on climate change objective, potential negative effect to the broader environment, and measure taken or not taken to reduce harmful practices. And the sectors such as energy efficiency, transportation, green technology or manufacturing, renewable energy, waste management, etc. And the sixth taxonomy is Green Taxonomy in ASEAN. The ASEAN taxonomy is structured based on a multi-tiered approach with two main elements, namely the foundation framework and the plus standard. And the purpose is ASEAN taxonomy as a reference to guide the provision of funds and capital to economic activities that can assist the systemic transformation that each region in ASEAN needs. The scope, the foundation framework in the form of qualitative assessment of economic activities, and the plus standard in the form of metrics and threshold to meet the requirement and benchmark specific of green activities and investment. The green categories such as energy, transport, manufacturing, construction and building, and water, waste, and other remediation. And the last one is Indonesia Green Taxonomy. Indonesia Green Taxonomy is a guide in supporting the development of green economy in Indonesia and as a reference for ministries and other financial institutions in providing incentive and disincentive for economic activities. And the purposes of Green Taxonomy as an important role in helping to increase sustainable investment and as an effort to accelerate financing programs. There are three classification criteria in the Green Taxonomy, namely green, yellow, and red. The Green Taxonomy sets out 6 environmental objectives, namely climate change mitigation, climate change adaptation, sustainable and protection of water and marine resources, transition to circular economy, pollution prevention and control, and the last, protection and restoration of biodiversity and ecosystem. And the last section is conclusion. A number of countries in the world have implemented Green Taxonomy as a tool in implementing sustainable finance towards sustainable production. In general, the sectors covered by the Green Taxonomy are agriculture, energy, processing industry, and transportation. However, each country still has its uniqueness. In environmental protection evolved through green taxonomy tools. The green taxonomy in each country is a living document that's openly adjusted continuously, both related to the development of classification and the entry of new business activities. The green taxonomy is expected to accelerate the implementation of sustainable finance in the world.